Do you want to learn how to make money selling sports cards? Do you want to know what cards are undervalued and what cards are overvalued? Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Do you want to keep track of your collection and find out its true value and its true worth? Do you like charts and graphs? Or do you just want to treat sports cards like the stock market? If you answered yes to any of those questions, well then I got the tool for you. And for the low price of $9.99 a month, you too can become an expert sports card investor. Help me make more money by signing up for my membership program. And the more people that sign up, the more money I make. It's okay. You can trust me. I'm wearing a tie. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to own a card that is way beyond your means, way beyond your budget, a card that you know you would never ever obtain in your lifetime? Well, what if I told you that you can own a piece of it? Through my fractional share company, you can own pieces of some of the most sought after high-end collectibles. And the best thing about it, you can buy and sell these shares just like you could the stock market. Sure, you won't physically own that item, but in your heart and in your mind, you know that you own at least a piece of it. It's okay. You can trust me. I'm wearing a tie. Cut. Was that good enough? Was I convincing enough? Gosh, I gotta get out of this tie. All kidding aside, for the past 2 to 3 years, we've seen a huge increase in demand in sports cards. We've seen a huge influx of new people entering the hobby, which caused a lot of the prices of these cards to really shoot up in value to the point where we're reaching all-time highs. And yes, for the past year, we have hit a huge correction, but the overall landscape of this hobby has changed. It's gone to the point where the perception of this hobby has changed from a hobby to a market. And when I'm talking about market, I'm talking about things like the stock market. You know, we have a bunch of new things that have popped up. We got data tools such as Card Ladder and Sports Card Investors, Market Movers, that whether they realize it or not, or whether we realize it or not, has really pushed the idea of treating cards like stocks into our subconsciousness. Heck, Card Ladder has a CL Index 50 trying to treat it as if it's the S&P 500. And if that's not a sign of the shift in thought of sports cards as a hobby to something like stocks, then I don't know what is. Not only that, but we have these fractional share companies that have popped up, such as Otis, Dibs, pushing forward the notion that you can buy a fraction of these highly sought after, higher end collectibles, basically treating these commodities similar as one would the stock market. Look, at the end of the day, this is a hobby. Sports cards shouldn't be treated as stocks. These are collectibles. We're just in a very fortunate position that these cards can grow a greater appreciation and value over time, but it takes time. This is what makes sports cards such a great alternative asset or alternative investment, but with the key word here being alternative. Now, no matter how you look at it, whether you're looking at it as a hobby or as a market, these cards have the ability to grow. But if you truly want to treat this as an alternative investment, or if you want to treat this as a market, then here's a phrase that I've heard many people say before, and it applies, greatly with these sports cards, and that is, time in the market will always beat out timing the market. Now, my own personal view is that I consider my own sports cards, in particular my PC cards, as being worthless. Sure, they have some intrinsic value, but at the end of the day, they're not really going anywhere. And in this video, I talk about as to the reasons why I think my sports cards are worthless.